Welcome boys and girls from YouTube. My name is Sloth, this is SlothForge, and thanks for stopping by on today's video. Now, as promised, I want to give you a real quick update of my poison team, because I was not happy with the results of my first poison team. It was like 225 million damage, and while using Ogok, and now this new team does not use Ogok any longer. Instead, we are using Frobot, which was a very important part for me, and it was a big achievement to reach like 325 million or 322 million damage and using Frobot. So now I can use Ogok for my wild team, which will help me to deal more damage for my wild team as well. But first, now let me show you this poison team real quick. And there are some crucial parts when it comes to this poison team, so I just try to sum up everything important real quick for you. First, just to showcase you the screenshot, as you can see, 322 million damage with this team, and there is once again room for improvement here. So it can absolutely do more damage. Also, very important note, I am not using the exclusive artifact on SlothForge. If I would have access to the exclusive artifact for SlothForge, I could deal way more damage, because then, instead of the Queen's Fan, I could give the statue to Twitch, which would help me to deal so much more damage. But sadly, I do not have access to the exclusive artifact for SlothForge, so I'm using the statue on SlothForge and the Queen's Fan on Twitch. Now, but as you can see, this is the exact positioning that we have to use. I don't think that there is another possible positioning for this team. So, if you find a better positioning for this team, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love if you would be able to place Twitch 1 or 2 rows behind, just to maximize the usage of the Queen's Fan, but I'm quite sure that this is the only positioning that works absolutely perfectly for this team. Why is positioning so hard, is so crucial also with this team? Because we have Frobot and Yorn, and we want all our teammates to stand next to Frobot and also stand next to Yorn for the whole fight, because we want Yorn to inflict the ultimate up to the whole team, and also we want everyone next to Frobot so he can heal the team up and place those Solar King's Horn buffs on the whole team as well. So, and this is the only positioning that I found that works perfectly. So first, let me show you the positioning real quick. So you can see now, right now, they are split up. But after Durango and SlothForge used their ultimate once, they all stay perfectly here at one spot, and everyone, as you can see, is next to Yorn, and also is everyone next to Frobot. So this is just the perfect positioning, I think. But as I said, if you have a better positioning, please let me know in the comments below. Now the next part, let me show you their stats and gear real quick before I show you the skill timings. And there are some important parts to note when it comes to the gear here as well. And it is all about what helped me to deal so much more damage is the clean sweep set. Because in general, there are two strategies, or the main strategy for most of your teams should be to build them with resistance, because the boss inflicts this super annoying attack penalty, and especially for your poison teams, attack penalty is your nemesis, because you deal so much less damage. Not only your damage in general, but also your poison ticks will deal way less damage. So this is why we want to avoid this attack penalty debuff if somehow possible. And I found out that, or I think that the clean sweep actually is just the perfect set for this purpose, because most of the SlothForge damage comes from his ultimate, and ever right before he uses his ultimate, now he cleanses this annoying attack penalty debuff. Same with Twitch. So this is why I would first highly recommend to use the clean sweep set on your main damage dealers for this poison team. Also, important note is the death record set. You only need one hero, one poison hero in your team with the death record set, because every single time, in this case Durango, deals derivative damage, he inflicts the mark. The mark is up for 12 seconds, and it will increase the taken derivative damage by 20%. And there is no cooldown. And since Durango is inflicting poison debuffs, he can keep up this mark for the whole fight. So you only need one hero in your team with the death record set. This also helped me a lot because my death record sets are not that strong actually. And to use it more than once is just a waste. Instead, you should use the Strike the Unprepared set, or also relatively good is the Imposing Presence set. But in general, I think the Strike the Unprepared set is a little bit better, but I'm not sure about this. So those are the stats and the recommended gear. Also, I'm using Yorn with a lot of resistance, so he can reflect the attack penalty here and there as well, which helps a little bit, but it is not mandatory since we have Fruabat, who also inflicts a lot of attack penalty. But still, it helps a lot, so I would build Yorn with a lot of resistance and the Prismatic Cloak. Also, if you build him with a lot of resistance, the Power of Tides set is very, very useful, because then he will help you to heal your team a little bit. And that's it. Now there's one final thing when it comes to the stats. It is about accuracy, especially for Twitch. Now, in general, you don't need so much accuracy on your Twitch, because your Twitch has so many ways to inflict poison debuffs, and even though I'm a little bit low here on accuracy, with the added accuracy from the Otherworld buffs and from the Psychic Core Elemental Affinity buff, I have around 270 accuracy, even though 330 accuracy is recommended. So this means that I only place around 75 to 80% of the poisons that I could inflict with Twitch. So it is recommended still to build him with more accuracy than I'm using here, just to inflict more poison debuffs, because we want those 40 stacks of poison up for the whole fight if possible, just to maximize especially SlothForge's damage, but also Twitch damage of course, because as I said, he deals a lot of damage with those poison debuffs. But you don't need so much accuracy. Around 160 accuracy is the bare minimum, so you can inflict a lot of poison debuffs, but if you reach the recommended accuracy of 330, it helps a lot. But that's it. That's it when it comes to the gear. I hope that I've mentioned everything. If I forgot to mention something, if you have any further questions, as always, feel free to comment below. Now, the final part is the skill timing. As you can see, Yorn and Fruabat are full default. This works perfectly fine. And I'm using a 16 seconds recast timer for Twitch, SlothForge and Durango, which is not 100% reliable. If you want to keep this 100% reliable, I would recommend to use the 16.5 recast timer, because sometimes something weird happens and all of a sudden SlothForge ultimates right before Twitch, for example, and we don't want this. We always want SlothForge to ultimate at least as the last hero, so you just deal the most possible damage with his ultimate. So the 16.5 seconds recast timer is more reliable, but if you don't use the combat simulation, if you just stay there or sit there and spectate this fight, then you can absolutely use the 16.5 seconds recast timer as well. And at around the 3 or 4 minute mark, sometimes it happens that they get out of sync. Then you just can slow the fight down a little bit and manual those heroes for just a second. This works perfectly fine as well, and it is just a min-maxing thing if you want to deal the most possible damage with this team. But then if you use the combat simulation, just use recast timers of 16.5 and you're absolutely fine. And I really hope that's it. I hope that I've mentioned everything. And if you have any further questions, any additional tips, tricks for this team, whatever, feel free to comment below. And now I hope that I've shown this screenshot. I'm not 100% sure. I'm very sorry. Just real quick, for completion, now you just saw this team did around 222 million, and as I said, there is room for improvement. I'm absolutely sure about this. But that's it pretty much. I hope that I've mentioned everything. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment below, and see you in the next one.